Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center in downtown Los Angeles. I'm with Gustavo Rosa with his movie Caro. Let's take a look at the clip.
Mais fácil para ti. Desde que não machuca a tua coluna, aqui de novo. E tá. Deixa o mal lá atrás, na frente, e você fica para trás. Tranquilo.
Gustavo, thank you so much. Obrigado.
Yeah, thanks for having
for
me.
being here. Your film was brilliant.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I really enjoyed it, and it was just a film that I feel like many people need to see. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
Sure. Caro is about a recently arrived undocumented immigrant from Brazil living in Boston, and he came with the plan to make a lot of money and go back to Brazil to make his life. He's recently married, and his plan starts to shift once things don't go the way he expected once he's in Boston. And so he decides to buy a car to get a little bit more of independence. And it's about kind of his trials going through that process.
There was so much in there that I just loved. You know,
Sure.
I think the one thing I've surrounded myself by a lot of people from lots of different nations, and I know how difficult it may be to move to a new country. And I think sometimes when you're from this country, you know, you take it for granted what people have to go through. And I think your story was such a important story that happens to so many people that move to other countries.
Sure.
Where did your inspiration come from for this story?
Yeah, I think that film is most powerful when it opens up a space for different stories, marginalized stories to come to the front. And the movie is a little bit autobiographical to me. My family moved to Boston when I was 12 years old. And we were undocumented for 13 years. And, there's a scene in the movie that takes place in a car wash, and it happened to my mom more or less word for word. And that was kind of the genesis of the story.
So that actually happened to your mom.
Yeah.
I want to find that car wash guy. I'm just saying. It was so powerful because, firstly, I have great love for Brazil.
Sure.
And there are people, as I say, that move from different places. And I think in this juncture of the world we're in right now, we're really talking about this much more than we ever have done.
Sure.
And it's important. And I think it's important for people to understand what people go through. Now, you obviously had an autobiographical experience with your mom. I feel terrible your mum even had to go through something like that. But like, did you want in this particular film to really open people's minds up a little bit as well, like to kind of help them understand?
I think it's a byproduct of just making the movie, to be honest. Because the idea started with this car wash scene, and then it was about building up a story that led to that car wash scene being as powerful as possible. And once I got to a point where I felt like the scene was working, that was really it. If it does open people's minds or lets them experience something different, I think that's just a byproduct of telling a story that's kind of true to my experience.
And I think, Brazilian culture is just the best. So I'm like, I love this sort of center around this, the music and just, because music is such a powerful thing in Brazil anyway.
Big time.
But I love that was something you almost held on to, because I think it's so important. I think one thing America is great is that you can bring your culture and bring your place and be American at the same time. And that's really what I love about what this country really does stand for in some respects. Now, I love your cast. Your cast were brilliant. It's amazing when you have a character in there that hasn't obviously got a lot of dialogue, but you feel what he's going through. How did you go about bringing your cast together?
Well, most of the cast is made of family, friends. And,
oh, great! Wow.
And all of them are former undocumented immigrants themselves.
Oh, wow.
And everyone but the main actor, Victor Lucena, is an untrained actor.
Wow.
His boss, the main character's boss in the movie is actually my dad.
Oh, really? I'll keep it in the family. There you go.
Totally. He's just a very charismatic guy, and
he's brilliant.
And I tried to make the movie. There was a structure around kind of what should happen to the main character. But a lot of the scenes were built so that we would get into the scene, and then the actors would be able to improv stories that came from their own experiences. So, like at one point, my dad in the movie talks about an incident that happened to him when he first arrived in the U.S., and that's a story that really happened to him. You know?
Wow.
So it blends a little bit of a kind of almost a documentary style.
Yeah.
With
yeah.
with a narrative sense, you know,
I
because
felt that.
the
Yeah.
story is going a certain way, but you know, I try to bring a little realism with casting on actors and having them improv and everything like that. And the other thing is, the movie is fairly slow and deliberate. You know, there's very few setups, and I think that allowed you to be in a space where you're kind of both observing the main character, like when he's cleaning, and when he's just kind of sitting there, but also be with him and feel what he's going through. Like
you did that for me big time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like it ends. The last shot is 3 minutes.
Yeah.
As you're sitting in the car wash with him.
Oh my God, that's so powerful.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
Like I actually felt emotional.
Great.
And I love how you brought in humor there in these dark circumstances.
Sure.
But that was just such a powerful. I was just you know, and I think. Firstly, I'm delighted that your family, you know, are here in the United States.
Yeah.
I think you've got a great story to tell for anyone that's been through, you know, as an undocumented immigrant, and look at the great talent that you're bringing to this country as well. And I think it's really, really fantastic.
I appreciate
But you know, this is a country of immigrants, and so you know, I love the celebration of amazing different cultures. But it's so great when you're in such an important time, you are reminding people of what people go through. And I think I love that you slowed it down and made us feel more by doing that, I think, as well. What was your biggest challenge in this project?
Yeah, well, one of my challenges was, like I mentioned, there was some improv in the scenes. I had certain expectations of where the narrative should go, but just because of the way the characters were interacting, the actors were interacting, it would go in a slightly different way, and it was kind of being on my toes and adjusting the movie as it was happening in front of me, you know?
Yeah.
The car wash scene took 25 takes to get to the take that's on the movie.
That looked very complicated, actually. Like, that's amazing you actually did it in a car wash.
Yeah, totally. And but we knew on set that it wasn't working, you know, so it took a lot of adjustment, and it took, you know, 10 minutes to go through it every time because you had to go back around. And so that was a big challenge too, because we knew we wanted to do it in one take and not cut around. So, but in the end, I think it, you know, turned out okay.
So, coming from Brazil, growing up in Boston, and then being part of this amazing event that celebrates this Mount Heard Month with NewFilmmakers LA at the Academy home. How was that feeling for you last night?
It was wonderful. It was a great experience, you know. It was a beautiful theater, beautiful audience. The energy was amazing. All the other films were great too. So I'm really proud and really humbled for the experience, you know.
One thing I love about your film is I love this center around this CD.
Sure.
That was being handed out. It was like this beautiful, and I love Brazilian music anyway. Was there a kind of importance to that?
Yeah, big time. Since I was undocumented for 13 years, you know, my family couldn't go back to Brazil, and one of the ways that I kind of cultivated a connection with Brazil was through music. So music was hugely important to me.
Wow.
And the song that plays in the movie is Cordão by Chico Buarque, right? And it's actually a song about, it's personally important to me, but it's a song about exile and kind of about camaraderie and kind of uniting with people. In conviction towards a fight, right?
I love it.
So it has kind of a meaning that if you speak Portuguese, you get it too, you know, and it's resonant to both to the moment that Brazil lived when the song came out, but also to now, because Brazil is kind of a mess right now, much like the U.S., I should say.
Yeah, like anyway, really, yeah. Well, I mean, I think and music is such a powerful thing, but Brazilian music is so, it's so much love in there, and it is camaraderie, and I love that was part of your film as well.
Yeah, totally.
What is next for you, Gustavo?
Well, right now I'm in post-production on a movie I just produced in Peru.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
I was in Peru for the last 6 months.
Wow.
I developed this script with a friend I met at Alonso Llosa, who I met at Columbia University, where I went to grad school.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and we shot for 29 days in May and June, and now we're in post. So
amazing.
After that, I want to write a feature version of Caro.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah, totally. And I have another idea that I'm developing now too.
Well, Gustavo, not only did I love your story in your film, and that it was your personal story as well.
Sure.
It's a very important film,
Thank
and
you,
I
man.
really hope that everybody gets to see it because
Thanks a lot.
it's really puts us in the world we are today and how we can become better humans as well.
That's very kind of you, man.
So thank you very much,
Thank
Gustavo.
you.
Obrigado.
I appreciate it.
Gustavo, everybody.
Thanks.